Hi, and welcome back to smirconish.com. This is the editor's report, and I'm your editor, Gilly Remen. Like every week, I'm going to highlight some of our best critical thinking pieces on the website. Our critical thinking pieces are basically essays that contributors from all around the country, professionals in their field, writers, you could really be anyone, write about a newsworthy topic in an independent state of mind. And we have some really great submissions this week. We had a really diverse topics regarding our essays. First, we had Mark Ellers. He's an attorney and former federal prosecutor who serves as a managing director in a global investigations firm in Philadelphia. And his new essay for smirconish.com titled Young Child with Dreams, The Legacy of Neil Diamond, Mark writes about his appreciation for the musical legend Neil Diamond and how Diamond's music impacted him throughout his life. Next, we have Howard Tansman. He is a retired IT professional living in Chicago. In his new essay titled A Brief History of Congressional Investigations, how he goes back and reminds us of the many different investigations in our country's history and how they differ from what is going on today in the current investigation. Next, we have Daniel OHara. He works professionally on Democratic political campaigns, and he's been doing that for the past 13 years. And he wrote a piece called Flaws in Trump's Re-Election Strategy and Potential Pitfalls for Democrats in 2020. So you definitely want to check that out if you want to stay updated on all the 2020 election cycle news. He elaborates on what a winning candidate and a winning party needs to do to bolster enough support to win the White House and the government. Next, we have a very moving and raw essay by Monique Ross, who's a domestic abuse survivor and an author. In her new essay titled Ignoring My Gut Nearly Killed Me, she describes her personal domestic abuse story and urges the current members of Congress to prioritize victims and survivors of domestic violence, especially when it comes to the law. Next, we have Ben Haney, who was actually a former intern for Michael, but now he owns a restaurant called James at 19 in Arch, and he's a real estate investor. In his essay called Stop Demonizing the Other Side and Start Compromising, he examines the ever more partisan political culture in the U.S. and asks that people go back to respecting each other even if they hold different opinions. Shout out to Ellen and George W. Bush. Lastly, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I wrote a very personal essay last week about my family's history and background with breast cancer, and what I think awareness should entail, especially with such a horrible and aggressive disease. It's called Breast Cancer Awareness Month is more than just wearing pink. So go ahead and check that out at smirconish.com, where all the critical thinking that I mentioned and more will be. I encourage everyone to submit essays and video commentaries to smirconish.com, and you could submit them by emailing editor@smirconish.com. I'm looking forward to working with all of you, and remember to keep thinking critically.